Hi there YouTube, it's Jamie here at Crafted Landscapes. Just doing a video today to talk about building a network of people and contacts to grow your landscaping business. The list that I'm going to go through is only 10, and obviously there's going to be a lot more contacts that you're going to make than 10, but these through experience are the ones that I've found to be the most useful. So a lot of what I'm going to talk about, there's a lot of sort of generic things. For example, you want to try and be loyal to each of your contacts by using them time and time again. Obviously you'll find out who are the good ones and who are the bad ones, and what you want to do is be negotiating costs with them, driving the costs down so you can push your profits up, and using them to your advantage, but obviously helping them back as well, so they know that you're an honest person, and you are going to both help each other. So I'll start off with the first one, and the first contact that you need to make is with local building merchants. So what you want to do is do a bit of research. Who is local? You're going to have to shop around a little bit, find out who supplies materials and of what quality are those materials. It's not always the case that the cheapest is who you're going to go for. You can't always think, all right, it's maximum profit, because there are a lot of merchants out there that will supply poor quality materials, which will mean your job is put down in terms of its overall finish. So get a balance between reasonable costs and quality of materials. You want to go down and visit the guys that run the places on a personal level, introduce yourself, talk to them a little bit about what you do and the projects that you get involved with, set up a trade account, and gradually negotiate better costs with them, and become a bit more friendly, I suppose, so you can call up on them, and at the last minute you might need an extra ton of soil or something, and they might be able to deliver it at the end of the day, whereas if you didn't really know them, they probably wouldn't do that for you. But number one, builders merchants. Number two is plant and equipment. So similar circumstances, you might not always have every piece of equipment that's required for a job. For example, you might not have a digger. I haven't got a digger at the moment, so you might have to hire it, a dumper, a cement mixer, a breaker. There's all sorts of materials, all sorts of equipment and plant that you're not going to own straight away, and it's more cost efficient to hire it in and obviously charge that cost to the client. So again, shop around a bit, find out who's the most sort of helpful and cost efficient, and keep using them and drive the costs down as best you can. Number three are other trades. So there's lots of trades that might be useful to you depending on the sort of works, the landscaping works that you're getting involved with. But from my experience, a bricklayer would be handy. Say for example you've got meters and meters of brick wall in a garden to do. It might be that you're good at doing bricklaying yourself and you might enjoy it and want to do it yourself, but there's always lots of tasks to do on a project, and your time might be better spent doing other things. So bricklayer is going to be quicker than you are, more than likely, because they're doing it day in and day out. Same goes for, say for example, electrical work. If there's lighting that's being put in on a project, if you're not qualified or you're not experienced, then an electrician would be a lot better to get the job done. It's being put in properly and you're not going to have any callbacks on it. So electrician or a tree surgeon. Obviously landscapers do quite often. I've done a bit of pruning back, or done a little bit of pole pruning with my pole saw, but if it's, say for example, a big oak tree that needs 30% reduction and there's climbing, and you need ladders, ropes, chippers, chainsaws, all that sort of thing, you want someone that's qualified and insured to do it properly, because if something goes wrong, There could be a lot of money to pay out for if you're not insured or covered or trained in that area of works. So yeah, tree surgeon. Number 4 would be a machine servicing shop. So yeah, doesn't matter what sort of equipment you've got, from time to time it may go wrong, whether that's a hedge cutter or a mower or a strimmer, whatever it might be, especially if you're doing quite a lot of maintenance work. It might just be a general service that needs doing, an air filter or a spark plug that needs changing, and it's all well and good. You could learn to do it all yourself. It's not hard, but if you are very busy and you don't have the time, it might be better to take all your tools down to the servicing shop, negotiate a decent rate for them to do it. Early spring and mid-season would be a good time to get your blades sharpened or oil changed, all that sort of thing. So a machine servicing shop's another good contact. Number 5 would be a graphic designer. If you're not that creative yourself, and you are probably going to need someone to help you with your logo, your branding, whether that be on a uniform or a truck, or your paperwork, all sorts of things. You're going to want to find someone that's a reputable graphic designer, and other trades could be quite useful to find out who is good in your area. So talk to a builder or an electrician that has already had their sort of branding designed, and see what they think and who's good in the area. Because as you grow your business, you want to probably deal with the same person from start to end, because they're going to have files of all of your information, your logo designs and JPEG files, all that sort of thing. So yeah, stay with someone good from the start if you can. Number 6 would be print and office supplies. Obviously most landscaping work is predominantly based outside, but if you take on the design side of things, which crafted landscapes do, on those rainy days you might be in the office doing design work, or working out quotes and prices. Some people still like to print on paper. Obviously drawings you're going to be wanting to print off. You want some decent quality paper, and obviously ink, pens, your diaries, all that sort of thing. Yes, you can order online, but sometimes getting to know a local supplier, buying in bulk from them, can be more cost efficient, because obviously the paper can be quite heavy, so you've got delivery costs and all that sort of thing. So yeah, find out who they are, and again get a decent quality, work out a balance between the price and the quality, get friendly with those guys. We briefly touched on supply of materials earlier. One thing that can be quite expensive on projects is if you're doing a new lawn, you're either going to turf it or seed it. Obviously seeding it's a lot cheaper, but some people want an instant result, which is turfing. Turf can be anywhere between sort of £3 and £5 a square metre generally. If you're doing 1,000 square metres of turfing, that is quite an extreme amount to give an example on, but it could happen depending on the size of your project. A difference of a couple of quid on a square metre can be a couple of grand difference in profit. So if you find someone that's reputable, supplying decent quality turf, and build up a relationship with them, negotiate a better price, I'd say down to £2 a square metre would be good, and that profit could be yours if you work it out properly. Yes, that's supply of turf. Number 8 would be a nursery or a horticulturalist. Both of them really. I've got a really good contact for a guy that's been dealing with plants all his life, and he's so knowledgeable, and sometimes I can send over an image to him, and he'll get back to me that day, whether it's a tree or a shrub, whatever it might be, and I need a bit of help on when to prune it, or why is it looking a bit diseased. Someone like that can be very helpful for you, and obviously if you're working in the soft landscaping side of things, you're speccing plants in your designs, you can make quite a lot of money from supplying all of the plants, and yeah, obviously negotiate with a nursery better rates. There's some quite good online nurseries which I've used. If you're buying in bulk, say for example you're doing a hedge in the winter, you're buying bare rooted hedging in bulk, you can get it quite cheap online, and make a bit of a profit on that. That was number 8. Number 9, land surveyor. This might not necessarily be used sort of straight away. If you're doing smaller projects, you're more than likely you can measure it up quite accurately yourself. At some point I will do a video on how to accurately measure a site, but if it's a bigger project and you're going to be doing CAD plans and designs, layouts, you might be better off getting someone in to measure it all out. They're going to have equipment that you don't have, and they're going to be picking up site contexts that you might not have thought about, such as the levels, the drainage, building footprints, trees and their spreads. So yeah, obviously you can put that cost to the client, and it gives you an accurate plan to scale from, acting as a base plan for you to design over. So yeah, land surveyor. Number 10 is going to be waste removal. Quite often, more likely than not, when you do a landscaping project, you're definitely going to have some form of waste, whether that's through the materials, the plastic packaging, surplus soil from the digs. If you can't lose that within the garden, you're going to have to get rid of it for the client. So you're going to either need a skip, a grab lorry, or a licensed tip. Contacts for all of those really. So yeah, you want someone that's efficient, friendly and reliable, that you can count on when you need those services. So that's the 10 that I've mentioned. As I said earlier, obviously this list is just through my experience, what I think have been useful to me. There's a lot more other contacts that you're going to make as you grow your business, but to start off with, here's 10 that can help build your network. So just to recap: number 1, builder's merchant; number 2, plant and equipment; number 3, other trades; number 4, machine service shop; number 5, a graphic designer; number 6, print and office supplies; number 7, turf supplier; number 8, a nursery or horticulturalist; number 9, land surveyors, and number 10, waste. Okay guys, I hope that's been useful. If you've got any direct questions to ask me, you can contact me on jamie@craftedlandscapes.co.uk, or visit my website www.craftedlandscapes.co.uk. I'm on social media, Instagram, Facebook and Pinterest, so feel free to get in touch. Alright, going to end it there then. Cheers guys, bye.